Hello, the video series that you never asked for is back for another episode. This is Dreamcast Magazine, issue number 12. You will note that the floor is different from the other videos because it's now carpet, and the other videos have got like a hardwood floor. That's because I've moved, and I'm now in my new room, my new games room. I have hoovered, so hopefully it is up to scratch for you. And I will be uploading this one in HD, so hopefully you will be able to see what's on the actual pages. One thing I will say is, the guy who lives in the flat below me, I don't know what his problem is, but he keeps running around his flat, banging, shouting, making noise. I don't know, to entertain himself. I don't know what his problem is, but if you can hear noise in the background, that's him, and I can't do anything about it. So I'll just say that now. Okay, so it's not me making random noises in the background and screaming and running around, it's him. Anyway, right. Dreamcast Magazine, issue number 12, and front cover, Ferrari F35 Challenge. A couple of little bits down here, virtual tennis, silent scope. This issue did actually come with a poster as well, a double-sided Ferrari poster. I don't actually have that, but I'm assured it's, well, according to the little picture, it's quite a nice Ferrari-flavoured poster. Right, stop waffling, get on with it. Let's move into the first page. We've got the contents, as per usual. The editorial there from Simon Phillips, the editor. And the usual contents pages. So, first big story here is Half-Life. It still wasn't out at this point. It was 40% complete, according to this magazine at this point. But the images are all, showing shots from quite late on in the game. The main single-player game, anyway. Nice bit of artwork there, and some shots down here of inside the Black Mesa facility. Moving on, we've got Ready to Rumble 2 first screenshots announced, and also Midway announcing NBA hoops, and a little snippet down here about Planet Harriers, or Space Planet as it was called then, rumoured to be coming to the Dreamcast. And some news here about Sega being in profit for the first time in quite a long time, at the time of printing anyway. This snippet down here is about a thing called Dream Screen, which was a service to be launched by Virgin in the UK, where you could log on to the website with your Dream Arena enabled Dreamcast and get film and movie news exclusive to Dream Arena or to the Dreamcast if you were logging on that way. I'm not entirely sure if it ever actually launched, and I was intending to do an article about this on the Dreamcast Junkyard, but there's just so little information about it on the internet that it's hard to find any actual conclusive evidence that it ever actually launched. So I will say as well, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you go to the link in the description below to the Dreamcast Junkyard, you'll find scans of various parts of this magazine, so you can actually read what I've been talking about. This is interesting down here. This is about piracy on the Dreamcast, and that somebody has created the Utopia boot disc, which, as we all know now, is an actual thing that lets you play copied and pirate games. A little bit about Virtua Athlete and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Okay, more news. Chicken Run and Frogger 2. That was a US exclusive, never came out in the UK or on PAL. Some more information here about Roswell Conspiracies, another game that was cancelled, and also Kiss Psycho Circus having issues being played online. It never came out with an online component, Kiss Psycho Circus. It was one player, single player game only. So that was interesting that it's being talked about here as having an online component, multiplayer. This here is about the Sega Beach Football event that was held in London, and I did do an article on the Dreamcast Junkyard about this some time ago. Again, I'll put links to this article I wrote, and it had ex-footballers and people like Eric Cantona took part. Advert here for Wacky Races, which is a fantastic game if you've never played it. Information here, we've got stuff about UEFA. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of it now. Super League, UEFA Super League, which is not a very good football game, to be honest. 4x4 Evolution, another game that came out in the US, not in PAL territories, and also Evil Dead Hail to the King, which is a bit rubbish. More news here, we've got the Panther, it's the joystick with the trackball on it, and also some more information about Sega sponsoring different football teams or soccer teams in Europe as part of their ongoing marketing for the Dreamcast. Power Stone 2 preview and also a Grandia 2 preview. Okay, US and Japanese news. Obviously this is a UK-centric magazine, so big story for the Japanese news is that Sega is losing a lot of money in Japan, weirdly, contrasting with the story that was earlier on in the magazine about Sega making a profit. And also some news here about the Smart Cards initiative. Again, I'm not sure if that I've ever actually materialised, but the idea was that you could play arcade games in Japan with like this card rather than having to put money into the arcade machines. Some US news. This is a little snippet about the Jet Set Radio story where Keep America Beautiful, which is an anti-rubbish campaign in America. We're trying to stop Jet Set Radio being released in America because it apparently promoted graffiti. Again, I did an article about that on the Junkyard, and also here's some information about the Sega Sports Dreamcast. Funnily enough, I happen to have one here to hand, so it's about that. And also just some news about Leonard Nimoy, the late Leonard Nimoy, voicing the US version of Seaman. Advert for the Sydney Olympics game. Soldier of Fortune and Magic the Gathering. A little bit about Jerry McGrath Supercross, which is not the greatest game in the world. Competition here for silver, or win a copy of silver. Preview of WWF Royal Rumble. Yeah, it's a passable game if you've never played it. It's, looks quite nice. It's good in multiplayer. Okay, we've got a forecast preview on Star Lancer, one of the better games on the Dreamcast. Really good conversion from the PC. Moving on. Record of Lodos War, MTV Skateboarding, and also another black and white development diary from the guys at Lionhead Studios. As we all know now, it never came out on the Dreamcast, and now Lionhead no longer exists. This is the cover story. Ferrari F35 Challenge. Just, general preview of the game. Interview here with Yu Suzuki. And yeah, this was 80% complete at the time. Still looks fantastic now, Ferrari 355. And a big review of Virtua Tennis. And this got 94%, and quite rightly so. Weirdly, it's like they've got a preview of F355, then a review of Virtua Tennis, and then another preview of Silent Scope, which just seems a bit odd. But yeah, Silent Scope's a good game as well. I don't know why I didn't have light gun support. That would have been quite cool if you could use the light gun and that sort of reticle thing moved around on the screen as well. But no, they didn't include that. And nice, really bad advert there for the PS2 with a really oddly rendered man there walking with a massive gun. Okay, on to the review section. Main review is Hidden and Dangerous, another PC port. Didn't get on with it myself. I wasn't a fan. Mainly because I just found it overcomplicated. Maybe I'll go back to it and revisit the game and with a more mature head. But back when I originally had my Dreamcast, I got this game probably on the basis of one of these reviews, and I didn't like it. I couldn't get on with it. It's a team-based shooter. Aero Wings 2 Airstrike, more of the same from the Aero Wings series. If you've played any of the other ones, Aero Dancing or just the first Aero Wings, then it's more of the same. You do acrobatics, but in this one you can also fight against other planes in like dogfights and stuff. F1 World Grand Prix 2, one of my favourite Formula 1 games. Not just on the Dreamcast, but, ever. Because it's really, really cool. That got 90% there. Mac and X. First person kind of sword combat game. It's good, but I just don't like the fact that you don't really have any like projectile weapons. It's all hand-to-hand combat and jumping over people and that kind of thing. It's a unique game. It's unusual. Definitely worth a play. That got 85%. Plasma Sword, Nightmare of Bilstein, which I believe is actually Star Gladiator 2. And this got 54%. It's quite an unremarkable game. It doesn't look amazing. It's just kind of like by the numbers, beat 'em up. Not one of Capcom's greatest offerings. Deep Fighter, again, it's quite odd that it's in the same issue as Star Lancer because it's quite a similar game, but just not as good. But I mean, it's a first-person shoot 'em up type game, but you're actually in a submarine rather than a spaceship. It's worth playing. I mean, you can get it quite cheap, and it's it's quite a lengthy game. But yeah, it's quite unremarkable, really. Nightmare Creatures 2. I've said this many a time. It's probably one of the worst games on the Dreamcast, and they gave this 39%. I do apologise. They gave Deep Fighter 68%. Nightmare Creatures 2. It's just a really basic port of the PS2. The PS1 game. So 39% for Nightmare Creatures 2, warranted as well. Caesar's Palace 2000. A game I do own, but haven't really spent a lot of time playing because I have no interest whatsoever in gambling or casinos or anything like that. And to be honest, I don't even know how things like poker work, and it just doesn't really hold any attraction or appeal to me. But this gives it 72%. There's another one called Hoyle Casino, which apparently is really good. But again, that was a US only release, so I've not got that one yet. But I intend to do a sort of a look at these kind of games here. Weirdly, you've got like an ATM option in this game where you can withdraw money. Virtual money, obviously. Okay, import reviews even. Jet Set Radio gets 93%. Can you remember a time before Jet Set Radio was even available for your Dreamcast? It's insane, really. Mr. Driller, another one of those games that has microphone support, I believe. You can shout drill or something and it will drill if you shout drill into your microphone. That got 83%. And then into the interact section, which is just letters. And we have an interesting image up here of Take the Bullet, which is a game we looked at on the Dreamcast Junkyard. And if you look through my other videos, you'll see a revealed video. Reader reviews. I usually reel these off, so I'll do it in this one as well. You've got Tomb Raider Last Revelation, 44%. Wetrix Plus, 94%. NBA Showtime, 75%. And Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, 78%. A look around the internet of the early 2000s. Some cheats for like V-Rally 2 and Tony Hawk Skateboarding. I won't take too long looking at these. And then a guide for Tony Hawk Skateboarding at the back. Moving on. And then we have the directory, which again is all the games listed for the Dreamcast that this magazine reviewed. Got some CD reviews like, it really dates it, this section, because you've got like Coldplay, Manson. Quite nostalgic look back at stuff. Or S Club 7 there. And Ali McBeal. Jesus. Okay, we've got the gadget section. So you've got a Super Soaker there and a digital camera with a massive 2.1 megapixels. Massive tennis ball there. If that's the kind of thing that floats your boat. And then just some more advertising at the back. Next issue, which is a big exclusive review of Space Channel 5, and then we've got some things down here: Power Stone 2, Quake 3 Arena, Metropolis Street Racer. That's on sale 7th of September 2000. And that's pretty much it. The dream moment is Echo the Dolphin, when you get chased by a shark. And that's issue 12 of Dreamcast Magazine. Hope you enjoyed the video. The guy downstairs was actually quite quiet. As soon as I stop recording this video, he's going to go mental again, I know for a fact. He behaved himself while I was doing this. So thanks to that guy. He'll never know about this, but if he ever does, then cheers. Right, thanks very much for watching. And check out the article in the description. I'll put a link and you can see some scans of stuff what was in the video. Jesus, that's not very good English, is it? Anyway, enough from me. Bye.